Hi, and welcome to Strictly Chaos. I'm Cam, and today we'll be going over childhood stories. The funny ones, the ones we wish never ever happened. And someone who's very experienced in childhood will be joining me, Kirsty Williams.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. So, what is your most embarrassing childhood story you could think of?
Okay, picture this 4-year-old me, if you can. I know it was a long time ago. It was like 2002, so that's a long time ago. Picture me 4 years old at the swimming pool, running about. When you're not supposed to run about a swimming pool, you know how that goes. And you know the barriers they use to climb into the pool? Yes. So I was running, obviously the surface was soaking. I slipped, literally went flying on my bum towards the barrier. Literally my legs had wrapped around it, and I honestly thought I'd shattered my pelvis at that point. I had never seen my dad move so quickly in his life. He had to physically run on and make sure I didn't break anything. I didn't. I just cried because I was 4 and I didn't realise how much of an idiotic thing that was. That's probably the most embarrassing thing because it was in front of everybody in my swimming class. It was my first day as well. So.
I mean, at least he didn't fall.
Yeah, I'm glad my dad didn't fall because he does that all the time.
That slipping and falling story has reminded me of one of my own, or many, but we'll go for the Burger King one.
Okay.
I was running a Burger King, and you know how Burger King floors can be slippery? And you use grippy socks to avoid that. Grippy socks don't grip. I basically just went into the floor. I got back up, obviously in tears. And then, the Burger King employee asks me if I want a plaster. I'm not aware she's done this. I'm not even aware I'm bleeding. So my dad got us banned from the Burger King by telling her to shove a burger where the sun doesn't shine. Oh. So we didn't have a Burger King for maybe 10 years.
Wow. At least it's healthy. You got healthier.
Yeah. We traded it for a Mackey's.
That's actually a valid swap. I prefer a Mackey's over Burger King.
Well, when I had realised I was bleeding, when I was in the disabled toilets getting it cleaned up, I had went like this, pulled my hand back, and the majority of my hand was covered in blood. But it was like a tiny cut as well. So maybe I've cracked my head open and received some form of damage that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other stories?
Okay, so I think, let me try and do this in chronological order. I've still not said that correctly, but we're going to go with it. I think I was 12, maybe 12, 13, 14, around that age anyway, pre-teen to teenager. I was sat on my laptop as teenagers do, because you know how we like to type, we like to ignore the words.
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance, all that. So I was sat there and I felt a stinging sensation. And I thought, oh, that's weird. So I turned my arm and there was just a wasp literally just nestled in with a sting. What did I do? Start screaming, crying, bawling, everything you can think of. I'm shaking it. I'm trying to do a shimmy. I'm trying to do the salsa. I don't know what I'm doing, right? And I go to my dog, who's a big Doberman, right? He was about, I don't know, 2 at the time. I'm going, bro, get it. I'm shaking my arm to this dog, this Doberman, who's looking at me as if, what's happening? So I run through to my dad, crying, screaming, everything. I'm going, Dad, I can't. What do I do? He comes over, so chill. He used to be in the Navy, plucks it out. Trauma over. What did you do with that?
What did you think the dog was going to do?
I was hoping he was going to eat it, but...
You know, fair point, dogs pretty much eat anything.
They eat spiders, so...
I know. My dog eats the mail.
That's like the most classic version of a dog I've ever heard.
Why can't you just eat my homework? Why can't it have been my homework?
Everything's digital these days, so it'd have to be a laptop.
Just Toby would probably eat a laptop. But other stories, talk back on the Burger King thing, I couldn't pronounce burger for the life of me. So anytime I wanted a burger, I'd apparently want a bugger instead. Still don't know what one of them is, but I'll probably learn later.
Yeah, I think we'll learn that at some point.
Yeah, so you got any other stories as well?
Okay, so I must have been 16, maybe. I'm trying to think. My niece was born when I was 15, so we'll go with that. My niece must have been about 1, if that. So I was holding her on my lap, kind of going, wee, throwing her back and forth, as you do, because you want to entertain them. Can you guess what happened next? she hit the floor and went down low. Yeah, and I swear I thought I cracked her head open because she was screaming to the heavens. I think that's why I know we're related, because we both scream when any trauma happens to us. So she was screaming and crying. My mum was almost screaming because she thought we'd done something. My sister wasn't there, thankfully. We never told. She still doesn't know to this day, but she's going to know now. And in the space of that literally 5 seconds, when she kind of calmed down, she went through to the kitchen and grabbed out, the fairy liquid wee capsule things you get, for the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. She put one of them in her mouth. So could you imagine me having to run, fish it out her mouth, and having to literally make her rinse so much water through like this 1-year-old's mouth, who did not understand you cannot do that. So that was 2 strikes that day. My mum said you are not allowed to babysit her till she's older. So yeah, I'm probably the worst babysitter because I still end up hurting her somehow these days. Trip her up and everything.
Fair enough. I remember one time, I don't know why, I had a perfume bottle in my hand just looking at it, but my sister then sprays the perfume bottle while it's in my hand. It goes in my eyes. Down to Amy we go. But what happens 5 minutes after we get back? I spray it in my own eyes because I was trying to figure out how my sister had sprayed it in my eyes. As you can tell, not really a thought goes on up here.
The brain cells have left the building.
Yeah.
That is the best way to put it.
They went on vacation with me to Tenerife, where I went missing and almost drowned. 2 different stories. Maybe the same week. Maybe 2 different separate years. I'm unaware. We'll come through to them. But they're still in Tenerife. They never came back with me.
They remain there.
Yeah. So I think it was the first time I went to Tenerife. I've only went twice. I want to go back because it's a great place. Mm-hmm. But we get outside the wrong hotel. I'm not aware we're at the wrong hotel. How am I meant to know? I didn't book the trip. But I go in and I decide to have breakfast at the restaurant. Before I left to go do that, I'm aware, I think I shouted it, and then I went off. Nobody noticed I had done that. So by the time they found me, I had finished eating a free breakfast at a hotel I've never stayed at. I didn't get second breakfast. I was very hungry, but because I had wandered off and already had breakfast, I got nothing.
You try to be a hobbit in that instance, like going, can we have second breakfast?
Yeah, so I was hungry. Go on vacation, it doesn't matter. And then the second time I fell off my floaty, I couldn't swim, still can't. What's the point in learning it? It's not like I'm going to go in the fucking sea.
In the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff, all that jazz, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. But like, I fall and I sink to the bottom, accepting my fate. Didn't panic at all. Well, I panicked slightly, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Sank to the bottom, just accepting my fate. Didn't even decide because I knew I couldn't swim, so I didn't even try to. Mm-hmm. My cousin had to get me. Lifeguards saw this happen. Nothing.
They didn't do their job.
No.
That's actually quite scary considering if they're trained.
Yeah. It was my aunt that had to go get your cousin.
Your aunt was the lifeguard.
Aye, pretty much. And you injured yourself in any dumb ways?
Yes, actually. We're going to go to 4th year. So I was 15 or 16 at the time. I was running about the art department because I was quite artsy, and I thought it'd be funny to get paint out and chase my friends with it. As you do. My friend thought the revenge was grab the paint. It was yellow paint. I remember this very vividly because it was traumatic. She grabbed it, chased me with it. I fell over, heard a crack, and I thought, I've broke something. I've done something. And there was a bunch of first years in the room beside us going, because they were only 12. So they thought, she's broke something. She's done something. And then I was sat there mortified. And I thought, I've broke something. So my art teacher comes out and goes, uh-oh. And I managed to get up eventually, but it was really painful. I couldn't work out, and apparently I'd tore all my tendons and ligaments when I went to A&E.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was traumatic.
My worst injury was trying to jump over my dog and smacking my face into the trampoline rim.
Oh.
But there's more stories we could tell, but I think we'd be here for years.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me and embarrassing yourself with me. I feel less alone now. This was Strictly Chaos. I was Cam.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you anyway.
Yeah.